For great ideas and practical tools you can start using tomorrow to grow your business and separate you from the competition, you've come to the right place. If you're into B2B marketing and sales, then welcome to the one and only B2B Marketing and Sales Podcast. With over 60 and counting total years in the trenches of businesses small and large, they have a plethora of knowledge and experience that generate you more leads, capture more clients, ring up more sales. Doggone it, just make you more money. How about that? Always thought-provoking, yet dubiously entertaining. Please welcome to their respective microphones across 3 time zones, your co-ringmasters, the Dave Loomis, and not the rock star, Steve Miller.
Hey, everybody. You know what? The reason why I'm starting this differently right now, because I'm looking at my buddy, Mr. David Mayo Loomis, and I'm looking at him on video, right? And he looks like he's got some kind of glow to him. What's going on with you? You got...
The heavens are just looking down on me,
man,
and shining upon me.
A Hollywood spotlight has just blasted through your window and hit you in the face just in time.
There's a chorus, a choir is singing also.
There's a heavenly choir from Daisy, what's her name? And
Daisy Jones and the Six.
Daisy Jones and the Six. As you all know that are listening to this, watching this right now, welcome to the B2B Marketing and Sales Podcast.
Oh, is that what we're doing here?
How about that? That I'm able to just drop back and be so calm and solid about that. My name is
who are you?
Not David Mayo Loomis, who is the intrepid author of the incredible book, Marketing is Everything We Do. And you know what? I have actually referred to that book multiple times in the last week with people. So,
Thank you.
If I'm not selling thousands of books for you, I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what's going on then.
Yeah. My name is Steve Miller.
Okay. It's nice to meet you, Steve.
That's enough. Nice to meet you too, Mr. Mayo Loomis. And and today, our last conversation, we started talking about, and this is so funny because we've been doing this for over a year. We have something like 57, 58 episodes in the can. Yep. And I was looking back at all our episodes a couple of weeks ago, and I said to Mr. Loomis, do you realize we have never talked about content marketing? Now,
I still can't believe it. Now we have last week.
Yeah, we did last week, but
we started last week.
Are you kidding me? This is like one of the most important tools.
Yeah, we could probably do 10 episodes on content.
Good thing we're not expecting people to pay us for these episodes, because
it sure is.
For us to wait a year to share with you about content marketing. Because all right, so in the last episode, if you haven't listened to it, you need to go back to that, because we give some really good advice in there about content marketing, why it's important, how you can use content marketing. But then we also decided that what we would do is we would wait and do at least one follow-up episode, probably going to be more, where we're going to talk about specific content marketing tools that you can use and how you can use them to kind of grow your business. That's the promise we make in our intro.
Yeah, and we're probably going to err on the side of counterintuitivism for anybody that's waiting to hear about about email or blog posts. You might have to wait a couple episodes because everybody or social media, everybody and their brother is going to talk about that. And if you're listening, you probably know quite a bit about that part of it too, but we're going to talk about some things that maybe are a little bit different.
Yeah, one of the things that we need to stress to people, re-stress every time, it was something that was a big point that we made in our last episode, was that every marketing tool works for somebody. Okay? We want to make sure that you understand this, that don't just think about marketing from a digital perspective. Think about it from a holistic perspective. The objective is to efficiently and effectively reach your moose, your target market. That's what's the important thing. And depending upon what they are looking for, how they're looking for things, what the easiest ways to reach them, the smartest ways to reach them, the most credible ways to reach them. That's what you have to pay attention to. That's what you have to look for. And so I think that, I think Dave is exactly right when he says that. And we're going to start off with 2 basic non-intuitive tools.
Yeah.
Let's start with you. Okay.
All right.
Mr. Loomis,
So
what is the tool that you would like to talk about
well,
that helped build my business?
Talk about one that's been around for
that helped
a
build my business from the ground up.
long time.
That's right.
It would be hard
the tool you're talking about built my business.
It would be very hard to try to pinpoint when in the history of humankind this content marketing tool became a thing. And the reason it would be hard to pinpoint that is because I'm going to be talking about a human being speaking verbally to another human being or a group of human beings.
You mean sales, like one-to-one?
I'm just going to say.
No, you're not. That's not what you're talking about.
No, I'm talking about, let's just call it a speaking engagement. Let's just call it that. Let's put that as a title. I have a chapter in the book that you mentioned about Stone Age marketing, which was like 2 groups of people lived in the mountains and in the river, and they didn't know about each other, and they got together, they discovered each other, and one of them made really good tools made of wood because there was wood where they were, and one of them made really good tools out of rock or whatever, or they made clay pots out of clay or something. It would be if at the fire ring that night, if somebody got up and said, hey, you know what? I want to tell you a little bit more about the pot making, the clay that we use and the pots that we make and why and the history of it with our group. We think you all might be very interested in that. And they proceed for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, however long. And they talk about that subject and everybody's nodding their heads and maybe they get a chance to ask questions and they learn about it and then they go away and they go back to their mountain and they're like, geez, that was really interesting. Yeah. We can't do that. And you know what? We need to make some more tools that we can trade with them so that we can get some more of their pottery because we could really use that. So that was content marketing. That's content marketing. It really was.
Yes.
And I remember when the term content marketing came out.
Yeah.
And I remember I was working at a communications company at the time. There was a transition going on in the whole Content Marketing Institute, and there was Content Marketing World. Its color is orange, by the way.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And I went to that a couple times, and I heard these amazing speakers. And there were like, I always referred to like lists of content marketing. What is content marketing? Blah, 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 blah. And then I saw like public speaking in person on that list. And I'm like, what? That's not content. Come on. And then the more I thought about it and the more I talked to people about it, the more I've totally come around to realizing that not only is that content marketing, it's about as old a technique as it comes, and in many cases as an effective technique as it comes.
I would say that speaking in public, and that's the phrase we'll use, speaking in public, because whether you're paid for it or you're not paid for it.
Sure, that doesn't matter.
Is unimportant.
No.
Is unimportant. Speaking in public, I would say, is tied at the number 1 position of content marketing tools. Because let's think about this. Why do we use content marketing? What is the reason that we use content marketing? We talked about it a lot in the last episode, but it's simply because what we're trying to do is we're trying to get our moose to listen to us in some form. We're trying to get them to listen to us and think, I like what that person is saying. I might want to work with them.
Exactly. So I'll just give you a real world example. And this is a great example because it also underscores how important it is to be patient about getting results. People, we're going to say, oh, go do this speaking engagement so your moose can hear you. And then if you don't get like 5 sales right out of it the very first day, then you're like, oh, this doesn't work. But be patient. So anyway, I got invited through some networking and some other things to give a speech at like kind of an innovation group that this was like 5 years ago. And I did it on voice of customer techniques and some other things that I was doing. And I actually had some interactive activities with the group as well. And afterwards, a couple things happened. One, I made a friend for life who is my personal coach, who heard me. She followed me into the parking lot and stalked me and said, we've got to get together. And that was amazing. But 5 years later, a huge company, a huge multi-billion-dollar company, somebody was in that audience and remembered, oh, that Dave Loomis at the Edge, he gave that talk about voice of customer. Let's call him. And they called me up, and I'm going to be working with them. So it's part education, it's part piquing people's interest, but it has everything to do with the moose. And is your moose there? And also, is your and what's your moose want to hear, and that sort of thing. Don't just randomly go to speaking engagements. That's not what we're saying. We actually recommend that you be incredibly focused and very niche-y. It doesn't matter if it's very specific. If your specific people are there, go for it. Right. Absolutely. I think that's content marketing, and you can support it by with all sorts of other content marketing approaches and marketing approaches before the fact and after the fact. If you can get a list of the attendees beforehand, you can send them some information or send them something. You can get their contact information after. You can stay in touch with them, all sorts of things. But it's the fulcrum. It's the
I can point at one speech I gave at the American Society of Association Executives. And it was not even a keynote speech. It was a breakout. And I think there were maybe 100 people in the room. Okay. I can point to that speech. And for 20 years after that speech, Kay and I, we would get a client and we would say, that client came from that speech. They weren't all necessarily in that room. After that speech, I'm going to tell you, I made over $10 million because of that speech. I will tell you that. For a fact, I can tell you for a fact, I made over $10 million because of that speech. Because in that room, my moose were in that room. Now, let's start with the beginning here. Is that when you, if you want to use speaking as a way to generate business, number one is you need to find out, where do your moose hang out? And if it is from a physical perspective, whether it's, and nowadays online, okay? But like in my case, what I figured out was, okay, I wanted to sell, at that time I was selling marketing services, right? Marketing consulting. That's what I was selling. I wasn't selling speeches. I was selling marketing consulting.
Yep.
So I asked myself, okay, who are my moose? And we'll talk primarily in the B2B marketing world, right? That's who our moose are, right? So we say, okay, I want to sell to corporations in the B2B marketing world. What conferences do they attend?
Exactly.
What trade shows do they go to that have educational components?
Yep.
So,
yep.
And I realized that trade associations would have conferences. They would have trade shows where my moose would attend. Perfect. So my ultimate moose. So now the trade associations became actually my most important moose, because I started to contact them and say, do you have conferences? Do you have trade shows with educational things? And I would say, do you hire speakers? and I would go speak at their trade show or at that conference, with the idea being that I'm going to go in there, and you don't give a speech to sell. You give a speech to inform.
Absolutely. That's such an important point. Such an important point, because we all know some people who think or try or say that they're giving a speech not to sell, but it's so obvious that if all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. You know who these people are, and it's just a sales pitch, and it doesn't. It leaves you with a bad taste in your mouth. Honestly, it really does.
It's an infomercial.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Yeah. So I would go, and I'm talking 30 years ago. Okay. And it's just as applicable today.
Yeah.
Or 37 years ago is when I started doing this. And I would go and I would give them my best stuff. I would give them my best. I would say, okay, here's what you want to do. And,
right.
And these people would walk out going, that was awesome. Man, he gave me great information.
Yep. That's what you all need to do. What are you an expert in? And what information that's valuable to your moose can you just give away? They're still going to need you. Don't worry about that. They're going to need you.
This is one of the, I'm going to say this is one of the deepest secrets. And I'll bet Dave, he just did agree with me. The number one thing you do is give your best information away.
I agree with you.
All right. Give it away.
I hate to, as much as it pains me to always agree with you.
It used to pain me until I gave that one speech.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, and it wasn't like the floodgates opened, but I immediately booked like a couple of clients out of that meeting.
That's fantastic. Okay.
And then,
some
others came along, and then those clients got me other clients, and those clients got me other clients. Yeah.
What is your example of content marketing?
Oh, okay. So are we done with that one? All right. Yeah. All right. So speaking, let's make sure you understand. Speaking is awesome. Now, I'm going to say something to you. All right. Now, what we've given you is a pretty broad overview of that. All right. If you want more information about how to use speaking, reach out to us, both of us, either one of us, one or the other. Okay. If you're watching us on the video right now, I know you're going to pick Dave because he's got the God light shining on him right now.
No.
And so
I'm not wearing orange.
If you're listening, trust me, you're probably going to want to call Dave. Anyway, but please reach out. Now, I am going to talk about another uncommon marketing tool that B2B companies, let me tell you, if you don't have an epiphany in the next 3 minutes, then you're just not listening. Okay.
What was that?
That's what I used to do to my audiences all the time. Say something like, what'd you say?
I can't help it.
Okay, I can't hear you. No, I can't either. Okay, mine is, guys, if you're in the B2B world, let's set a platform here. Okay, most of you are using digital marketing. You're using digital marketing entirely. And that includes primarily emails, okay, that are not getting opened. We know that. It's an exercise in activity, not results, all right? And that you're defining results as being, I sent out 100,000 emails. Or you're going on social media and you're posting crap that nobody cares about. All right. Now, here's the number one thing that you need to recognize about digital, especially social media, is your number one objective is to get them off of a social media platform and into your own platform. Number one. That's job number one. If you're looking to build followers on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, whatever, you don't own those followers.
Okay, we're going to have another conversation about this.
But this is important because this is why I'm also going to get to this, because what I'm going to say, and I will end this part quickly, because, all right, if Twitter changes their rules, oh my gosh, have they ever changed their rules? Then you're done. Okay. You've lost all those people. But here's the point. You get them off of social media. You get them into a mailing list. Now, the way you do that is using things like lead magnets. And you know what? That's another topic for us to talk about.
So an email mailing list?
You want to get them into an email.
Is that your thing? Is that the thing you're going to the content marketing thing you're going to talk about?
No. You're killing me now. All right. You're killing me. You're killing me. What was his name? Anyway, in the movie. So you want to get them off of social media as quickly as possible. You get them into your email list, and that's fine. Now, in your email list, you want to try to get their mailing address. All right. You want to find out where they are. And when you get their mailing address, now you start using direct mail to communicate with these people as one of your tools. Direct mail. Yes, folks, in the mailbox is what I'm talking about. Most people are right now going, oh, nobody uses direct mail anymore. Yeah. Do you check your mailbox every day?
Yeah, we still get things.
Do you check your mailbox every day?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Is there more or less mail in your mailbox now?
Than when?
3 years ago.
I'd say there's more.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That you are really getting targeted.
I am. I definitely am.
Here's the thing. Most people say, hey, nobody uses email. Uses
We
mail
still
anymore.
get a lot of catalogs and a lot of flyers.
Yeah. And there's a reason why.
Yeah.
Because it
works.
still works. It works. Okay.
Exactly.
Here's the thing, folks. I'm going to go down a list of things I wrote down. When you send something in the mail, here are the things that happen in the mail. First of all, you are part of a look. Even if you're in with a bunch of catalogs, if you send something to them, you're not a catalog. All right, you're something else. All right. Here, number one, you don't have a lot of competition in direct mail. All right. You can target market. So like I say, your moose, if you are sending mail to your moose, you can, at the very best, you can actually write a message that is directed to that specific person. Or at the very least, you can write a message that is aimed to that moose. Okay.
Definitely.
Now, here's the other thing I should back up, is that people will open an envelope before they open an email. People will delete your email just by what you wrote in your subject line. They will not even look at it. They will not even open it and look at it. But if you send them a message via direct mail, in a letter, in an envelope, in a box, whatever, odds are they will open it. The odds are much higher that they will open it, okay? Because it's tangible. They are used to opening mail. Our whole lives, every day, one of the habits that we have is we go get the mail and we start opening it. Now, yes, we look at things and we go, oh, that's junk mail. Then don't look like junk mail. Just look like a letter. Just look like an envelope, that has information in it.
Right. That probably came from the federal government.
Yeah.
So
that's
I'm joking. There's lots of tricks
no,
of
you're
trade.
absolutely right.
There's lots of tricks of the trade.
No, be smart about it. Be smart about it. The point is that you're going to get higher response rates from direct mail.
Yep.
You can be very specific in target marketing, which is one of the keys to success, gang.
Yes.
All right. Because I would rather mail a letter or an envelope to 200 people who gave me their mailing address than go and hit push a send to 20,000 people with some broad message on email.
Yeah, 100%. And
remember, the people in my audience, there were less than 100 people in my audience when I was speaking. Okay. I don't need, and in fact, ultimately, I built an 8-figure business out of a mailing list of under 200. And we use primarily direct mail to do that. And so you get, it increases their engagement. If they open it up, that's engagement. You can test with people. You can do an A/B test in direct marketing, and you know immediately what the results are. Immediately. It's easy to track. And one thing that I think it also does is that it builds it can build trust, because people trust what they see in the mail. They, oddly enough, they really do.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So, you know how we said that when you're doing a speech, when you're doing some kind of public speaking, that you should seek to inform, not to sell. Now, a lot of direct mail, I guess, traditional directions would be that you really are trying to sell or get them to respond. That's what it is, direct response. So there's two questions. One is there a non-selling aspect to direct mail? And second of all, is any kind of marketing technique, could you make the argument that any kind of marketing technique is content marketing?
Yes, you can. I think that the way you use it is really important. Now, I'm gonna be very honest. I'm gonna take the same approach in my direct mail that I'm gonna take in speaking. However, when I'm speaking to people, when I'm in front of an audience and I'm speaking, they can tell whether I'm sincere. They can tell whether I'm authentic. They can tell whether I'm pitching them.
Same thing with direct mail.
And with direct mail, what I have always used, and what I've told my clients to use, is be transparent. So there is nothing wrong with saying to people in your messaging, look, yes, I want to work with you. I want you to hire me, ultimately hire me. But you know what? There's no reason for me to think that you would ever hire me if you didn't trust me. So what I want to do is I want to share information with you that I hope will be valuable, interesting, and useful, so that when you have that moment where you feel like you might need my type of service or my type of product, you will think of me.
That's great advice. Here's some other question that maybe some people are thinking that you might have some ideas on. With so many people now working remotely, not at home or not in an office, is it better to get their office address? Obviously, they're going to, if you get their address, they're going to give you the address and you can't choose. But do you have a comment about that? Or in direct mail, in your experience, are people now giving their home addresses for business correspondence?
Here's the trick. Here is the trick. And I've also preached this for many years. It's actually pretty easy to get their business mailing address. Yeah. People are not, it doesn't bother them too much. So you have to work so hard to build trust with these people that at some point you say to them, and I had a lot of my clients at the beginning of COVID where we really pushed this, where we said, look, you know what? Stuff's happening. And we don't all know where we're going to be. Now, I'm trying to share information with you that I feel is useful, it's interesting, it's valuable. And I hope that you agree with me about this. And I also hope that you would agree that, you know what? No, if you got a different job, you would still want to hear from me. The only way we can do that is if you trust me with your home address.
And then you've sent things to people's homes, or your clients have.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what? Yeah, I mean, because again, you're being transparent. They know you're not trying to be their best friend. They understand that. But now there are some really slick things that you can do to get people to give you their address. I'll give you one example, and it falls into another type of content marketing called shock and awe. That just absolutely is, oh my gosh. I wish I'd invented this. But like, for example, during COVID, I had a handful of clients who said, okay, we want to get people's home addresses. All right. How can we provide some kind of a shock and awe package? Or in our conversations, I would say, okay, how can we get their home addresses, but do it in a way where these people are so happy to give us their address? We started asking ourselves, we started brainstorming this, right? And we came up with two things that we thought, oh, you know what? Now, this goes back to a different discussion that I will lay the groundwork on. And that is, how much are you willing to spend to get a new customer? That's where this goes. All right. If a new customer is worth $100, you're not going to spend very much. If a new customer is worth $50,000 or higher, you might want to think about spending some money. And most of my clients in the B2B industry, their new customers are worth six figures and higher. So when COVID first got started, people were stuck at home. We would offer people, we would say, hey, look, we're all in this together. Ultimately, we would love for you to be a part of our team, join us, hire us, and stuff like that. But you know what? In the meantime, we have to recognize we're all in this together. And so I've got a big ask for you. And the big ask is, I don't know. Are you going to have a different job in a few months? Are you going to be moving somewhere else in a few months? Or are you going to go to work somewhere else in a few months?
You asked people that?
Yes. We would just say, I need your home address in order to stay in contact with you. So here's what I'm willing to do to show you that I sincerely want to help you out. Yeah, I really want this to be us helping each other, okay? You can choose between either getting a full house cleaning or a full landscaping. We will provide you with a housekeeper. We will provide you with a landscaper.
For one time?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
One time.
Did people take them up on it, your client?
The response was off the charts.
That's awesome. How much did it cost per either cleaning or landscaping?
$200.
$200 per person, and it was worth it. Did you have anybody that said they can't accept it because of conflict?
Not a single person working from home.
That's great.
Said that.
Yeah,
not a single person. You got to be creative about that.
That's clever. Yeah, certainly gifts.
In the marketing world, I call that's a shock and awe.
Yeah. And obviously like a fruit basket and things like that at Christmas
stop
time,
it.
or
Just
at holiday
stop it.
time.
No, you want to blow their minds. If you're looking for people who are going to give you $100,000, why wouldn't you spend $200?
And
I would spend five.
has-
If you know what, here's the question I've put to many people over the years. And Mr. Loomis, here's my question to you: if you are going to make $100,000, all right, off of somebody, if I send you a lead and I say, give me $5,000, or if I send you 10 leads and out of there, you're going to get 3 people who give you $100,000, would you give me $5,000 for those leads?
in a second.
Every day of the week.
Yeah, in a second. Now, of course, you don't know for sure about your example, the landscaping. I don't know if they calculated an ROI, if they calculated it through to new business. Certainly, it's a great retention thing too, because B2B companies are buying over and over again, and you don't want to lose those. The cost of getting a new customer is obviously astronomical. The cost of keeping one.
Yeah. So you're actually, and good for you. Good for you. I expect that out of you. You figured that out. Because yes, of course, we did offer that to every single customer.
Yeah,
out
of course.
there.
Yeah, that was the right thing to do. That was the right thing to do, for sure.
Yeah. And in fact, some of the customers, they said, we'll give you both.
Oh, that's great. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, and we're throwing, it's speaking, it's direct mail, it's all these things work together. Doesn't
They do. They all work together. Don't just pick one, pick a bunch. There's all sorts of names, multi-channel marketing, whatever you want to call it. Steve and Dave marketing. How's that?
I think we can come up with a better name than that, but
I don't know. That's so
okay.
good.
Steve and Dave marketing.
See?
Damn it, people.
It really says what it is.
We're marketers, not doctors. Anyway, so
Steve Miller, MD, marketing doctor.
And this is, both of these are examples, or what we talk about today. I'm going to tell you, my clients are absolutely slaughtering it. And and through COVID, this is the stuff we were doing during COVID. And it was just, we were laughing all the way through this whole thing. So
that's great. Should we talk about other content marketing
techniques
at our next?
I think so. You know what?
Session?
Here's what I would suggest that we do. Let's just say that, in the future, we will talk about other.
Sometime we will bring this back periodically to talk about all the different types. But at least we've covered it in 2 episodes, which we didn't cover in the last
I don't think
57 episodes.
Of course, I want to talk about other types too, but I just don't want to do it after episode. But here's 2 things that I'm going to say to our friend who's listening. Number 1 is, if you are not Justin Fagan and you would like to come on and have a conversation with us, tell us about what you're doing. You know what? You can teach us some ideas yourself.
Yeah, we would love to have you on if you're a listener.
Or ask us questions and we will answer them for you.
Yep.
That type of stuff. So if you are that kind of a person, you know what? Drop us a line and we will bring you on. Here's the thing. We get emails every day from promoters who are trying to pitch us on people we should interview. Okay. On our podcast.
Every day.
And these promoters are paid to pitch their client. We have no interest in these people. We want people who we want to stay tight with you guys. And so that's what we're looking for. That's number 1. Number 2 is, what other content tools? What other tools that you are using or you're thinking about using would you like to get better at?
Yeah, and shoot us an email.
Shoot us an email about that.
Yeah. Let us know.
Holy crap.
We don't have a listener hotline, do we?
Yeah, we could fix that. I don't even have a hotline with you.
Yo, come on. You text me every day about 1,000 times.
And every day that I text you, I get a response. New phone. Who dis?
Uh-huh.
We're gone. We're out of here.
Okay, I'm going to take us out. Everybody, this has been just another wonderful time together listening to our friend Steve Miller and myself about content marketing.
Mayo Loomis. Get his dang book, doggone
This
it,
has
people.
been...
Marketing is everything we do.
It is. It really is. This has been the B2B Marketing and Sales Podcast with you know who, and we will see you next time. We are out of here. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the one and only B2B Marketing and Sales Podcast, the source for B2B marketing and sales insight. If you enjoyed the podcast, please be sure to subscribe and leave these old guys a 5-star rating. Check the show notes for any links and contact information. You can always contact us by going to b2bmarketingsalespodcast.com. Thank you, and keep on marketing, keep on selling.